Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is the first actual live stream at this particular channel. For those that know me around the way, yes, if you know me around the way, I'm Ray. So, still the same guy, but this is another platform of mine where I do have guests in the future, probably co hosts, but this channel I want to make it more of a platform for everyone, and I mean everyone, to be a part of. Because we're going to be here and we're going to talk about a lot of things that has been hard to talk about in other sectors. We're just going to be talking mainly about the reality of everything here. So, for example, let's get right to the point, talking about the rise of the swindlers. But without any further ado, I'd like to let people know I'm a real person. So, Rabi, how you doing? So, yeah, we're gonna really do this in scorch earth fashion. I'm speaking from the Black Knight's perspective, of course. There will also be the monk's perspective. In the future, there's going to also be the Twilight's perspective, as well as the Valkyrie's perspective, and possibly the Madame. Yes, we're going to talk about the Madame as well. We're going to get off into all these topics. So, hope you all enjoy this one. It's going to be a good one. But yeah, the rise of swindlers. Now, I actually got this idea from another platform of mine on YouTube where someone brought up the idea of grifting. Okay. Excuse me. But before I get off into the idea of what grifting is, let's just look up swindlers. Okay. Because it all actually tie in together what I'm trying to talk about tonight. Okay. But yeah, the rise of the swindlers is actually something that's not new based on some conversations I have had. Okay, swindler is nothing new. But if you look up swindler, it pretty much is a person who uses deception to deprive, to, a person who uses deception to deprive someone of money or possessions. So a lot of that is going on. A lot of it has been going on, but I believe there's a rise of swindlers. So basically, we're going to see this activity increase. That was pretty much the whole purpose of this live stream. It's not about talking about something that's new. It's about talking about something that shall increase. So there's going to be an increase of people that use deception to deprive someone of money or possessions. We're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of frauds because that's another definition of what a swindler is. A swindler also is someone that finesses. Okay, we hear a lot of terminology in regards to finessing. One definition of finessing is to maneuver. Another definition of finessing is deception. Okay, but let's look up what grifting is all about because I'm kind of interested in the definition too. If you look up grifter, it's a person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Woo. You see how all that kind of comes together? All that just comes together so well. So the rise of swindlers that are also grifters at heart. A lot of people, um, but these grifters actually, they're petty, small, small scale swindling. So not really on a major scale of trying to rob people of what they have. They just a lot of times try to find a way to get over on someone in very minute situations. It could be just like taking somebody's food, find a way for themselves to get more of that pizza. Like they find a way to get 8 slices to your 4. So we see this all the time. We see a lot of deception of swindling in the workplace. We see this a lot with people that we think we know that we thought we can trust. So the rise of grifting is really based on the notion that there's just a lot of dishonest people out here in this world. And instead of being honest, they rather just find a way to get beyond this. They find a way to get their unfair share of things. I'm looking up kind of some examples of grifter, these people that swindle on a small scale. One example I'm noticing is grifter might be a pickpocket, a crooked gambler, scammer, or a confidence man. Interesting. A confidence man. A lot of people talk about being confident, but to me, that's deception because you're not really who you say you are. You don't have the courage that you think you have. In the times of scorched earth, given the name of this channel, you're going to see a lot of people out here are not made for the blaze. They're not made for the blaze. And a lot of them couldn't bring forth the sizzling sensation of this type of live stream. You hear the fires kind of sizzle in the background. Yes, you hear the fires sizzling in the background like the wildfires kind of burning at the bark of all the trees. Okay. This particular live stream shall be just 30 minutes long. So for those who don't want to have too much of your time taken up, I appreciate you stopping by. But on average, Scorch Earth Incorporated shall have just 30-minute live streams. Starting out, hopefully we can continue that type of time. Maybe sometimes it becomes more interesting. Not to say Scorch Earth Incorporated is not interesting, but just more people around. Hey, I see Aquarius in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you once again. I'm glad to see you. Yes. Talking about Scorched Earth, these swindlers, these people that pickpocket, these people that really don't mean well. We're going to see a lot of this. So Scorched Earth Incorporated, we're about talking about certain things that I feel bring a unique type of value. I appreciate that, Aquarius. Yes. Yeah. Very interesting topic. Like I believe really that Scorched Earth Incorporated brings about an intrinsic value to the space. Not just YouTube, but all of social media platforms. We shall be talking about topics like this, behaviors amongst Scorched Earth. Maybe we see some of this behavior right now. The rise of swindlers, the rise of people in disguise. Going to see a lot of that happen. We're going to see a lot of people just set people up. Like a lot of, even with Scorched Earth Incorporated, you see the flames that are associated with this channel. A lot of arsonists. We see this. We see how people swindle if they own restaurants or franchises and they want to get insurance money. What they do, they burn down their restaurant. This happened a few times I've seen around my way. You get a lot of these franchisees, they burn down their restaurants for insurance money. Some people burn down their cars. Some people do it for a publicity stunt. I seen a YouTuber, I forget their name, but they had a brand new Mercedes AMG GT sedan, one of the best looking sedans out there, and he burnt it to a crisp for a publicity stunt. And I kind of wonder, y'all, is clout chasing and publicity stunts, are those two things the same, or do they kind of have a slight variation to it? You said Aquarius. So are swindlers are thieves that know how to finesse others. Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much. They can definitely be a thief. They can be a scammer, but that finesse, that's definitely a good description of a swindler, uh, or a grifter, which, like I said, was someone that's involved in small petty crimes or small swindling type of behaviors. So little small stuff, not on the big scale of things where they're trying to screw over a multi-million dollar corporation. And I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this. Whoo, hey, the owner of Louis Vuitton is not who you think he is. He's one of the biggest swindlers out there. He actually took over the Louis Vuitton family's firm. The whole Louis Vuitton family chain of business was taken over by a swindler. I kid you not. So, because the last era of Louis Vuitton, he trusted this guy. I think he's now the richest man in the world. I think he is. I won't say names, but y'all can look him up. But he betrayed his friend. He betrayed the last heir of Louis Vuitton. So Louis Vuitton is not even owned by Louis Vuitton anymore. He found a way to deceive and betray the last heir of Louis Vuitton in order to take over the Louis Vuitton empire. So that gives you an idea of the scale of what swindler can go to. Okay, it can go to a bigger scale of where somebody will try to take over your business. It can go to the realm of, even, I'm not even pointing fingers, but like in regards to the John D. Rockefellers and the J.P. Morgans, even the Thomas Edisons, how they were able to swindle the likes of Nikola Tesla out of his ideas in order to capitalize on his ideas to better their own, because their ideas were not superior to Nikola Tesla's. You said Aquarius. Oh, so people that are swindlers can basically set up intentional accidents for loots of money. Yeah, I actually knew an older gal, like I knew a gal back in the day. I guess at the time we were kind of close, but her mom, she hurt herself on purpose so she could continue to get the VA benefits. So this happens all the time. These scammers and schemers, these swindlers, you're gonna find a lot more people find ways to just make it. Like some people will say, it's like only the strong survive. So this is like the you got to get in where you fit in. You got to get it how you live it. I say that most of humanity is not a predator prey type of way. Most of humanity is scavengers. I've been saying this. I'll continue to say this. Most of humanity is not predator or prey. They are scavengers. So you look at the behavior of jackals, hyenas, even to a certain extent, alligators, crocodiles. There's this certain scavenger mentality of how they could swindle another predator's prey from him. You know, this goes even in other ways, like with the way birds, some birds out there can even find ways to nest in another bird's nest, kick all of the inhabitants' eggs out the nest in order to put their own eggs there. And then the other birds come back and end up fostering this invasive egg, not knowing that their eggs got kicked out the nest by an invasive parent of a bird. Like swindling goes deep even in nature. Now, biblically, it talks about how animals would fear man. And so I believe that scripture is huge because it also taught animals how to behave like man or worse than man in many ways. We still can learn from nature, but unfortunately, the fall of man is also in nature. Yeah, it's wild, ain't it? Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy, but that's like the nature. And we're going to see a lot of this take place in Scorch Earth. We're going to see a lot of people trying to find their way to get by. I think still, like Marvin Gaye said, war is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. So you got to show love even in the midst of scorched earth, despite the swindlers that are out there, despite the people that are trying to set everything ablaze in your life. Because people will do it. People will try to set your house on fire, your life on fire, destroy happy homes. This is going to happen, but you still have to have love to show these type of narcissistic people in the world where people don't care, right? This world of sin, as a lot of people would say it is. Well, you don't have to necessarily be a saint, but just be sacred. That's how I look at it. I think sacred is better. You get a lot of saints that are still sinners, okay? Like you get a lot of that out there. You get a lot of people who are in their own way self-righteous, whether they call themselves spiritual or not. Like we get this. So you got swindlers in that regard too, because you go to churches where you get, as Aquarius talked about, loots of money, right? So churches, they do the same thing. A lot of them become mega churches, getting people's loots of money, but never help people out in their situations. Beware of the person that you work for. Certain employers that aren't really trying to be there for an employee at their time of need, you stay away from that employer. They want your service, but can you get their service? There are times when you need their help just as much as they needed your help with the help wanted sign. Yeah, they had the help wanted sign outside their window. Well, sometimes as an employee, you need help too. We're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to be more communal as a society. We've become obviously capitalistic. We're supposed to be communal. We're capitalistic and we're consumers. Yes, we're capitalistic and we're consumers. That's what we are. Instead of being communal and showing compassion, swindlers don't care about compassion. But I still say love conquers hate because maybe that person didn't want to do right by you and for you. Well, guess what? Someone else notices that. Okay. Someone else notices that. You got to be a cheerful giver. See, this is how you know when you're dealing with a swindler, a grifter versus someone that's a gifter, uplifter. Okay. These swindlers are more so shifters. See, a person that is stingy about giving to you, let alone giving back to you, they're just trying to take from you and never acknowledge that you have a need in your life. Not even trying to ask, do you need anything? Like, that's what goes on. Okay. Let's see. You said Aquarius. That's true. The pastors are one of the biggest finessing swindlers, stealing folks' money as if God said to pay the tithes. SMH. Yeah, in the tithes, people don't understand. It's not even just necessarily money. It's what you give based on an energy vibe. It's the energy that you give. See, the money is just a tool, but it's the energy behind that. Okay. You don't even have to necessarily give a person money. Let's just say they need the actual thing, like they just need a car. Okay, you can get them the car. You didn't have to give them the money for the car. You could just give them the car. The car is a tool. The money is a tool, right? Like, but in it all, like I said, it's just that's the tithe. It's not necessarily the money. It's the energy behind what you give, whether it's money or not. Like, so yeah, when pastors are like, bring the tithes to the storehouse, bring the money. No, well, what about the energy? What about the love? What about us making sure that one is, first of all, one is without food, one is without clothing. How about we make sure like everybody's taken care of, everybody has food, clothes, money, and someone to call their husband or wife. Most importantly, like, yeah, the swindlers of the swine. There's going to be a lot of that going on. A lot of flu, swine flu, a lot of flu with the swine. We're going to see a lot of this pestilence that's going on. We're going to see a lot of it, okay? Like, um, but yeah, the rise in the swindlers is happening every day. Infomercials, excuse me, a lot of infomercials are becoming more swindling, less dwindling. They're actually rekindling a lot of their old ad campaigns. These infomercials coming up. advertising these new products that do not work, advertising a new way for me, excuse me, advertising a new way for you to lose weight, advertising a new way for you to make money, advertising a new way to have a love life, a better sex life, better fitness, you name it. Maybe even advertise a better way for you to fight. And it's funny because you get a lot of these expert martial artists that even tell you that you shouldn't even punch somebody. Like our hands are not made to punch. I don't know if that's true or not, but we see all this stuff. But I'm like, you got to prove it. You got to show that it works in your life. You got to literally practice what you preach and apply what you preach. That's how you can be able to preach what you practice and preach what you apply. Swindlers do not practice what they preach. They don't even preach. They don't even practice. They're just trying to play the game, right? With no practice. Now, some do practice to make perfect. It depends. Because someone that's a swindler can allude to a con artist, okay? It goes really deep. The rabbit hole is deep. You said, Aquarius, good point, but unfortunately, like you said, the pastor don't care about helping others because he or she is greedy and will want all the money for themselves while everyone is suffering and not getting what they need. Exactly. Facts. Yeah. And so that leaves a very selfish world around them. And they could look in their own Bibles and how in the Bible it says you have to have the heart of a child. A child is innocent. A child knows not to be greedy like that. A child knows to make sure somebody else has what they need. Okay. Like a child knows these things. Okay. Like we have to get to that point of where we become more childlike, I guess, if nothing else, just not as tainted by the world around us. Yes, we're exposed to the world that's around us. We're exposed to the scorched earth, but look at some of the flames of scorched earth as actually cleansing the world around us that we're exposed to that's trying to taint us on a regular basis. Sometimes the flames can be of purity. A good cleansing is needed at times in this world. And I speak from the Black Knight's perspective on that. Being out there amongst the flames in the field. There's a lot I can say about this because there can be a lot to say about the dating field, the dating games that are out here. As a Black Knight, same thing. I'd say go into that field, even amongst the sea of all this dating, show honesty, be real about wanting love and receiving love. And don't be around somebody that's less than that. Don't be around somebody that's transactional in what they believe and how they feel. You want to be around someone that actually cares, is a decent person, tries their best to show proper etiquette, or at least they'll acknowledge where they need to work on certain things. Like you want to be around people that actually are trying to do better every single day. They're trying to be a better person every single day. Because a swindler, you can't tell them that. You can't tell them that they need to try to be a better person every single day. They're just trying to better the way that they swindle. Okay? That's what they're trying to better. Like the rise of swindlers. I'm trying to think of other things that, oh, we can go into the medical field. We can go into the fact that you depending on which hospital you go to, they swindling you out of that. Think about how much money you got to pay. Like even a dentist. Like it's crazy with all this insurance. Like I actually went to the dentist the other day, right? Just trying to get my teeth checked on, and they just gave me a quote of what needed to be done. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was well over $10,000 what needs to be done, and I'm just like, wow, like so much needs to go into this. Like some people get under that chair without realizing the bill that they're going to get. This is crazy, but we've come to the point now where in this world, uh, I guess money has become the biggest swindle of all because of what it took to make certain things. See, they talk about blood money, but I believe money was actually made out of blood, but nobody wants to talk about that. You said Aquarius. So basically, be childlike when it comes to the matters of the heart. The pureness and innocence and having good intentions. Exactly. Good intentions. Even when things sort of kind of go the other way, but good intentions will save the day. It'll kind of sew the wound that could have accidentally happened. Hey, accidents happen. But see, the innocence will keep things together. It'll sew things together. It'll kiss the wounds. It'll lick the wounds. We deal with people that don't care. They want to put salt on the wounds because they're not childlike. You talk about an immature child, actually, that child that's being immature and that's a bad child, right? That child is actually behaving more like an adult instead of like a child. Did you not know that? I mean, you got to think the child at a certain age already is ready to fight, already knows how to fight. Most children you think want to grow up and just want to play with each other. They just want to be each other's friends, kind of learn the environment around them. They're still trying to perfect their motor skills since they're still developing physically, right? So you mean to tell me there's a child at like 8 to 9 years old that already knows how to knock somebody out? Like, yo, like that's an adult type of situation going on here. Like, what would I do if I knew I could get knocked out by a child that was 8 to 9 years old? That would be crazy, right? You said Aquarius once again. You said, oh, geez, yes, the medical field is beyond tripping when it comes to medical costs. Yes, exactly. A lot of swindling goes on in that. And there was actually a big article about that, the whole big pharma push, how they pretty much put a price on all of this stuff. They put a price on health. I mean, if you want to look at big pharma that way, that's what it was. And of course, you can go back to Rockefeller for all that stuff. Like, I'm just saying, because he was the big pusher of big pharma. So yeah, big pharma basically means a price on health. That's literally what big pharma is. That's one of the biggest swindling things out there. How does this relate to what I'm talking about? Because just finding ways to get at people's pockets, whether it's through the insurance, like Aquarius said, certain medical costs. I mean, heck, just to get in the door. Like if you even miss your appointment, they'll probably charge you for that too, okay? It depends on the medical organization. To jump in a helicopter to go to the hospital. Last time I checked, for every single minute, it costs, yes, $1,000 for every minute the helicopter is in operation to take you to the hospital. So many minutes go by, what, depending on if you got injured in a rural part and the helicopter came to pick you up. I believe that's a round trip, 45 minutes to pick you up, 45 minutes to take you to the hospital. Do the math on that. Like I said, $1,000 every single minute to pick you up. And yes, it takes at least about 5 minutes to start a helicopter, and it takes 5 minutes to shut a helicopter down. Keep that in mind. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. The dental work is crazy. The dental work is off the chain. It's off the chain. All this stuff costs. It's crazy. Uh, Medication, that's a huge thing. So that's why you got a lot of these cartels that get involved in making a lot of medication themselves, albeit, not off the shelf type of stuff, but you'd be surprised. And I ain't just talking about like Mexican stuff. Like, yo, this wherever there's a cartel around the world, there's always a way to kind of sneak in illegal ways of making medication that we take. And you didn't even realize where it came from. Like, we don't realize these things. That's the crazy part. You look at the back of every single RX facility, and you just see a gold mine of how they've made it this way. Of where I'd say right now, some of these medical stores like a CVS, a Walmart, I mean, yeah, Walmart, Walgreens, like they sitting on gold mines of medication that they know people will need. Like their life depends on that medication, so they can charge as much as they want. I saw a girl one time when after I left the dentist and I had to get like some antibiotics for my tooth. And they talked about how much she had to pay for her dental. And this is with a copay on insurance, over $250 for her medication. I kid you not. Her stuff was probably no bigger than a bag that you get a get a Big Mac from a McDonald's put in. Actually, just probably a double cheeseburger, no bigger than that bag. And it's $250 of whatever that type of medication she needs is in that bag. That's crazy. You said Aquarius, swindlers take money away. They especially can if they can get away with it legally. Facts. Got a lot of that going on. And I won't go into a deeper rabbit hole of all this because there's so much I could say, but just to play it safe, y'all can look up a lot of this stuff, okay? People getting away with not being sued if there's a medical mishap based on what you had to intake, okay? Like there's a lot of this going on right now as we speak, okay? We could talk about another way of a person can swindle you is you have somebody contracted to fix your house up, whether it's to paint your house, to put new shingles on the roof, to replace your windows, fix your garage door, repave your sidewalk and your driveway. And he can mess up that contract, but you signed a certain contract and he getting away with that. He had a certain binding agreement, the way that he wrote things in order to swindle you. Your bank could swindle you, depending on what you signed. I know this personally. You got to know what you're signing for. Some banks can take money out of your account for whatever their discretion is without even letting you know about it, okay? It's out there. But yeah, getting back to the house aspect of all this. Actually, even these rappers talk about this stuff. That's why they all want to be independent. They don't want to be signed to a record label. But ironically, these same rappers that have other rappers signed to them, I guess they're like, look, I'm on an independent wave, ride my wave. I guess that's what that is. But you'll have a lot of musicians out here like this. They'll be like, man, I decided to be independent because they was trying to screw me out of my contract. I didn't realize I was only going to get paid this much money. Or like how Easy E, he sort of swindled Dr. Dre, but he said, and Dre Day is always Easy's payday, given how Easy E structured the contract out for Dr. Dre at the time. Like, so we can go deeper in this rabbit hole. And I'm not really trying to call Easy E out in regards to being a swindler, but y'all have to see how a certain finesse can be taken for whatever the reason is. Maybe in Easy E's case, he would have said, no, like if you talk about me finessing, I'm talking about how I had to maneuver when it came to Dr. Dre. Not that I was trying to deceive Dr. Dre. He was trying to deceive me. So I had to maneuver in regards to Dr. Dre a certain way. Like this goes deep, y'all. Yeah. Yep, that's right, Aquarius. The CEOs of companies are swindlers. A lot of them are. Like, because it'd be only, usually like I think like with Elon Musk, he was like at one point the richest man in the world until the Louis Vuitton guy, who's not even a Louis Vuitton heir, surpassed him. But Elon Musk, like I don't think he even gets paid more than his employees. I don't even know if Elon Musk actually gets paid at all, if I'm be honest with y'all. Like I don't know, but you would think like a real CEO, he don't want that much of a pay no more than what his employees get. He don't want to be seen as schnob, like flying jets off of people's wages. Like, no, the jets you see me fly, this ain't from my employees' wages. I have other sources of income. I've built this business and I'm getting paid off this. I'm getting paid off other ventures. I'm not getting paid off the people like that. I would never do that to the backs of the people that chose to believe in my vision and they felt like it applied to their vision. Okay. But yeah, not too many people would have the mindset of an Elon Musk type, I would say, that be like, hey, I don't need to get paid that much more than my employees. Well, yeah, and some people look at Jeff Bezos, he got a big yacht and all that, and they probably like, nah, you see how Jeff Bezos live. Like, he gonna make sure he get his money. He like, I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna get my money. I didn't become this rich for no reason. You said also, Aquarius, yeah, they have you sign medical waivers, especially if you are getting surgery. Yeah, oh yeah, that disclaimer. Like something could go wrong, but and off the time something be going wrong on purpose. Like, but it's in the contract, so they can afford to make a mistake on you. Like That's crazy when you think about it. And then these places are so deep. If you even try to have a lawsuit with them, they have lawyers for days. Even if they lost a lawsuit, they can still win a lawsuit because of all the layered protection that they have in the in the legal systems, in the judicial system. It is crazy. You said it's Aquarius also. No wonder contracts are bad, and that's why the singer musician Prince said, "Don't sign a contract." Exactly. Like, yeah, I mean, he kept all of his music in a vault. There's still music of Prince's that we've never heard. And even someone like J. Cole, he just be like, "Yo, I write music, but I don't publish a lot of my music because, yo, like people gonna be trying to take advantage. Like, I'd better off giving it away for free than to actually sell it." Like, remember when music used to be free? But now you're telling me if I make music and I sell music, I'll only get a fraction of what it's worth. Maybe I might still be rich, but I'm not wealthy. You're making most of the money off of my music. You're making money on my royalties. You're making money on my what they call that, my masters. I think Nipsey Hussle, the late and great Nipsey Hussle, kept his masters. I think because he remained independent, or that's the thing, keeping your masters, remaining independent. That's key, I believe. You said also, Aquarius, you sign your life away signing contracts, either like you can die, get messed up, or be a slave to the contract, which is a form of swindling too. Yeah, facts. You said this. Oh yeah, you really, yeah. That's a good point, Aquarius. Yeah. It's 36 minutes in, and I think I'm gonna end on this note. This is a good point, Aquarius. You said the prison industry ain't nothing but swindlers, but they also have slaves, so it's a two for two deal for them, which is a double win. Yes, especially because they make all of the license plates that are on our cars. Yeah, that part. All the inmates, they got them making the license plates on our cars, and they only get paid $1 a month or something like that. That's the crazy part. Like, and I don't know if y'all know this, but they spend more on incarceration than they do on education. Y'all didn't know that. It is true. This world, it designs children to eventually know they're going to get locked up one day. You're going to be locked up at your job, and if you don't like your job, we're going to lock you up in a prison. So you're going to have to deal with either or. You're going to do your time one way or another. Okay? The military has their way of looking at it too, in regards to how they do their time. Some truckers can say that. Some of them feel like they're rolling on the prison on wheels when they're rolling, and they're gone all the time from their families. But they have to work these hours in order to pay these bills. But that's why you see a lot of these truckers fall asleep behind the wheel. And my heart goes out to them that they find a better way to get around and to get down the road or to drive less, so these incidents don't happen as often, if at all. You said it's also Aquarius. Dang, that's slavery, and that's why Prince wrote slave on his face while he was fighting the record company, WB. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that because they're a big old entity. Yeah. But see, like Michael Jackson had a similar issue back in the day too. But this is the first live stream of Scorch Earth Incorporated. Just giving y'all an idea of what's to come in regards to topics. I shall have co hosts in the future. My name is Ray. Once again, let y'all see me. Yeah, all eyes on me. Yeah, so speaking from a Black Knight's perspective. Yeah, so we're gonna have the monk's perspective in regards to Scorch Earth. As I said, we're gonna also have the Twilight's perspective, even the spinster's perspective, the Valkyrie's perspective, the Madame's perspective. We're going to even talk about white knights here at Scorch Earth Incorporated. We're going to do all of that. So this is going to be a unique thing. I hope everybody loves this live stream. Share this. Tell somebody to tell somebody about Scorch Earth Incorporated. I appreciate your input, feedback, as well as insight, Aquarius. Thank you so much. Yes, we're just getting started. More greatness on the way. in scorched earth, just always know that you gotta leave the old things behind. You gotta leave the old things behind. Just always keep that in mind. Leave the old things behind. That's the only way we will be able to make a difference in this world. Okay? Leave the old things behind. Take care. Take care. Sorry about that. Take care. Okay. I would say take her, but gotta watch it. Gotta know if she's trying to move forward in the scorched earth away from these blazing kingdoms around us and behind us. But yeah, leave the old things behind. Uh, that goes for guys too. Some of these guys are white knights. Leave them behind to these blazing kingdoms that they are a part of. Yes, out with the old, in with the new. That's correct, Aquarius. That's what it's all about here at Scorch Earth Incorporated. It's like that controlled burn on the grass when you got to cleanse the grass in order for the new undergrowth to show up. That's what Scorch Earth Incorporated is all about. So here we're not talking about doom and gloom. We're talking about bloom. Okay, their ending is a new beginning over here at Scorch Earth as we apply the blaze in order for us to see better days.